Hey guys, what's going on? This is Roth. I am here with Mike and Bryan, the creators of Korra. I'll just use your first names as if we're best friends.
Sure. That's fine.
Works for me. That'll be my dream. So let's dig into this, because this was a big finale. Left in a very dark place. So let's talk a little bit about first the decision to kind of leave on that note, what that sort of means going into next season, and where Korra's head is at after facing her fears in the cave. Yeah, well, I mean, this season really we structured it around Korra's big sacrificial moment of saving the Air Nation and giving her that really big heroic moment, but that it definitely came at a big price and a big cost to her physically and emotionally. So yeah, we wanted to end on a bit of a high note with Jinora getting her tattoos, and that was cool. But yeah, at the very end, obviously, it's a bittersweet victory for Korra, and she's got some recovering to do. I mean, it's felt to me a little bit like the whole series to date has been asking the question, what is the Avatar, right? Because she keeps getting the idea of what the Avatar is stripped away from her season after season, whether it's like, I mean, maybe there is an inequity in the world. Certainly we've seen like, these are crazy people, these are terroristic and crazy people, but there is some kind of core idea about a quality that underlies these villains that's very interesting. Can you talk about how you're structuring the villainy?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mike and I have always said and have always been interested in not cartoonish ideas of good and evil. We like our good characters to be very human and flawed and make poor choices and maybe be misinformed about things, and then gives them a place to grow, and it certainly makes them more relatable. And we like our villains to not just have these kind of, like pure evil, no one would ever really operate this way type of agendas. We like
evil because it's evil.
Yeah, I mean, we were always interested in people just, trying to find balance in the world if it's different nations, and then the idea that the world is really complicated and things aren't perfect, and Korra's on one side of this trying to learn her role and how to balance these seemingly, these issues that don't seem like they can be, perfectly balanced, and then to have people kind of coming from the other side trying to usurp her position or take her out of the equation, or to push some agenda that maybe, yes, at its core is a positive thing, but for us, it's always about being, things being out of balance, and so I would say those people are out of balance in their implementation of their ideals.
Well, murderous too. I mean, this was a dark season in general in the sense of, like, if you think about with the Earth Queen, the murder. I mean, was that a difficult decision? Was that hard to get on the air at all?
Wasn't on the air.
Well, ultimately, to get on.
That's not why.
But
no, I mean, there was
no,
not at all. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some discussions about how far we could take it, and the one thing we always run into is like not being able to say, like, the queen is dead. Like, Zahir can't get on the radio and say, I killed the queen. Like, so we have to, say bloody something, or kind of work around that. But it was story-wise, we weren't just trying to do it just because we like doing mean things to our characters, but like we kind of had to back Zahir's talk up with some really serious action that he was very serious about taking down these very governmental structures and these tyrannical leaders and stuff.
I mean, you mentioned sort of being released digitally, and we know why that's happened for this season. But in a weird way, I mean, how do you feel? Do you feel like that's actually adds like a freedom in terms of reaching your audience, or what you can and cannot do in the future, things like that?
The show is essentially done. Yeah. I mean, we've already written everything. We recorded all the preliminary recordings. The dialogue, it's all been storyboarded, it's all designed, it's being animated. Mike and I are just working on post for the rest of the year. So it doesn't really change anything. Actually, it changes nothing.
Yeah, it would have been on TV or online. It's the same
content.
Same content.
Yeah. And yeah, we in terms of like a freedom or whatever. You know, it would have been nicer to still have it on the air, as well as being digital. I mean, they flipped back and forth between only on air and not digital, which was frustrating because our audience is predominantly online. But then pulling it off the air isn't really beneficial. You know, it's better to reach as many people as you can. But you know, I think what we've seen with Avatar: The Last Airbender, after it finished its original run, it did really well online and on DVD, and now with Korra, you know, I think it will also have a long shelf life on, you know, DVD, Blu-ray, various streaming or digital download outlets. So, you know, the shows, they find people somehow. So.
And people find it, and I think that, I mean, if Breaking Bad sort of taught anything, it's that things live on and grow, certainly after the initial release, and I think that'll be true for Korra too. But anyway, let's talk about Big Four just a little bit, since it's done, and you can tell me all about it.
Done-ish. I mean, we're still doing post, but yeah.
Let's talk about Zahir, because he's been a great villain. He's still out there. It's possible, seemingly it's been seeded, that Red Lotus is still working and out there, maybe kind of operating like the Hydra of this world, you know, secretly. Will we see some of that play out, or will it be a combination of Red Lotus and spirit enemies?
I mean, the main thing is, much like every season of Korra, we have a new villain. So he's not dead, but we do have a new threat and a new enemy for Korra to face. But we're not going to talk about that threat just yet.
But it all ties in. You'll see how it ties in very closely
by
to
the end.
Book 3. You'll just see. Yeah, we're going to be pretty tight-lipped about Book 4 stuff, but we'll do our best to answer.
Well, what was cool too was that it seemed like the Airbenders, the nomadic Airbenders, could be, and my friend Max said this, kind of like the Jedi running around while Korra's down. I mean, is it going to
We
be...
said that too, I think.
Did you?
In our meetings.
When we were talking about them in the writers' room, it was like, yeah, they're like the Jedi. You know, they go around and they do this stuff. Yeah, they definitely are kind of taking on a bit of a peacekeeping Avatar-like role around the world, and you know, the idea is that they're going to be out there, you know, helping little towns that need it or whatever. So you'll see kind of the, you know, the residual effects of that. Yeah,
I mean, back in Aang's time and before, they were much more of a reclusive, you know, they're almost like sheep. I don't know if you've ever been in a field of sheep, but they look really cute, and you approach and they always stay like 30 yards away. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, and that was always the idea with the Airbenders. They tried to stay, you know, detached from societies and stuff, and they didn't really mingle with other societies. They didn't harm them in any way, but they just were very reclusive and monastic. So yeah, this is a definite like retooling of their kind of interaction with the world.
Janora's like sort of had a big bump in power as well over the last season. I mean, so it seems to me like maybe that's a little bit about how some of the egalitarian sense can come to play. Maybe like it's not all on Korra. There can be a team. I don't know if that's any of the thinking at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been part of the Avatars. You know, what we always call it the team Avatar. Like, you know, she's got her friends, and then even now, like, she's got this kind of wider circle of people who can help her, and that she can kind of be a de facto leader of almost. Yeah.
There's always been Team Avatar, but I mean, I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong here, with the opening of the portals between the spirit worlds, and there's all these awakenings, Bolink and Lava Bend, you know, and how is Zahir such a master airbender when he just got the ability?
See, Zahir was a master martial artist before he got airbending. I mean, that's the idea. With that, in real life with martial arts, you know, any weapon is supposed to be an extension of your own body. And so if someone is truly a master at martial arts, if you hand them a broom or a sword or a stapler, he or she should be able to use that, you know, expertly, because they are in such control of their body. And he was always meant to be this kind of parkour, like Shudo, catch wrestling, like master. I gave him the cauliflower ear. It's like, you're supposed to get the idea. Like, this guy's done a lot of like
brawler.
He's done like professional fighting and probably, you know, some illegal jobs where his skills came into play. So the idea is that he got when he awoke with the ability, he was just practicing in his cell, you know, for a time, but that again, it's like, you know, it's like in a movie throwing a broom to Jackie Chan. He's going to turn it into a weapon. So already a high-level guy, already a high-level spiritual person, just not a happy-go-lucky version of, you know, he's not like an altruistic spiritual person. But spiritual abilities and depth aren't only the, you know, domain of nice people. So.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Korra game that's coming out too. I just really quickly, I need to ask, like, are these spiritual portals opening up? I mean, are these awakenings going to continue? Is that?
I don't think Bolin's lava bending was related to the portal. I think that was him just tapping into his own abilities. Yeah.
His earth and fire background.
Yeah.
Well, so let's talk a little bit about that game, because we're really looking forward to book 4, as I think you're getting a sense of. But we've got the game.
We're glad, thank you.
Yeah, we've got the game coming up as well to sort of tide us over. What's it been like for you to see that evolve? Did it inform you in any way as the creators? Did you learn anything about your own world?
Through the game making process? It's been fun. I mean, it's been rewarding and positive.
Yeah, it's cool to work on stuff that, like, you know, we were there in the kind of early stages coming up with story ideas with Tim, the writer, and Joaquim, and, you know, and just seeing Tim run with the story and the characters, and then seeing all the gameplay stuff come back has been awesome, because, like, usually we're so in the thick of, we know everything that's going on in the TV show, and we're involved in every little aspect of it. So nothing's really a surprise to us. So with something like this, it's cool to have a team of people working on it that are amazing and come back with something even bigger and crazier than we anticipated.
Is there something interesting about delving into the story between books 2 and 3 as you're actually heading into book 4? I mean, what can fans sort of expect to get out of that? What will they learn?
I think, I mean, it's always tough because video games, you know, unless they are like really specifically designed to like link 2 stories or 2 movies or something, they kind of need to exist in their own bubble, you know, to allow, you know, their own gameplay to happen and stuff. So I mean, we had already moved past that story point when the game came up.
Yeah, but we were trying to find a way, like, how could this conceivably have fit into a little space between book 2 and 3? Yeah. Without it messing anything up in book 3 or book 4. Yeah. So, but I think it definitely ties into, you know, a lot of what happened in book 2 and stuff. And there's an awesome new villain that's part of the story that we really liked. So it's cool to, like, do a character like that we never would have.
We didn't have time.
We didn't have time, or you know, more episodes to do them in a show. So it's cool to explore different characters in the world.
Is there, are there Easter eggs and things like that people can look out for, things that will even tie in the future or tie to the past?
You'd probably have to ask the game developers if they put, I mean, you know, this was the most involved we've been with one of the games that's been produced. And, you know, and nothing against the people that worked hard on the earlier games, but they often were at a time in production when we didn't have enough, like, they needed assets that didn't exist. And it was just tough, and the developers, the show wasn't as established when those first couple games were made, so they didn't quite understand the world yet. So it's been really satisfying to see. Activision has done a great job. They got a great developer in Platinum. You know, they really picked an awesome studio. And then it's so cool. Like, we heard, like, when Platinum got the job, like you know, the project director was like, we're going to turn this whole studio into Korra Land, and they just put up tons of artwork, and you can tell in the game, like, they really got it, and they really cared, and they really enjoyed watching the show, and so for us, it's always nice because we're so hands-on, and usually if something's not going right, or you know, we don't have time to, like, steer it, we're just not interested, or it's kind of frustrating, but this was one that, you know, we helped out a lot as much as we could, and then they took it and ran with it really well. So it's been fun.
Did you guys play?
We've seen the gameplay.
You've seen the gameplay?
Neither of us are huge gamers, so but I actually do want to play this one. It looks cool. I mean, that's the thing. There might be some Easter eggs in there. The thing that was cool to me is just, like, you get to, like, fight a mecha tank, and you get to, like, be in the pro bending ring, and like take part in the things you've seen in the show. To me, that's always pretty fun to do. And, like, the environments look really cool, like, that you can really, like, run around Air Temple Island and explore the streets and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think more than Easter eggs, we're excited that it's Janet's voice, it's David's voice,
Yeah.
it's the character designs look great. They modeled them really well. Korra looks really strong, like she doesn't look too scrawny. I love it. In the 2D animation, it's frustrating. Everybody draws her too skinny, and we're always calling, we call as many retakes as we can, and then like.
You're very muscular for a woman.
Yeah, for the 3D modeling, like it's nice and solid and consistent, and they did a great job on all the character animation, like the chi blockers with the bolas and stuff. So yeah, I'm most excited about just not the subtext, but the text. Like it looks and feels like Republic City, and it really feels like the real characters. And
all right, well, I know that we're looking forward to it. We're going to find out a little bit more about that today, so we're looking forward to that.
Cool.
But thank you guys so much, and hopefully we can talk to you some more about Book 4.
We'd love to.
Sure.
Soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.